Hey guys, it's Lego Pete 3 and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a dead channel for most of the year, but as you can see I have some more customs today, and these are my Young Justice customs. Some of them are from Season 1 and a couple are from Season 3, but part of the reason it's been so long is because I've been working on these guys for the past few months, and I just wanted to do one video with all of them. So it's finally here, and I hope you guys enjoy. So let's get into the first figure. So here's Robin from Season 1 of the show, and he's probably my favorite character in the whole show, both as Robin and as Nightwing later on in Seasons 2 and 3. But before I get into all the details with this figure, I just want to give a quick shout out to a YouTube channel called Noah R. Noah space R. I believe that's just his name, but he draws up some of his own custom figure designs. If you know who Ash and Flash is, he pretty much does the same thing. But he made 2 Young Justice videos, and I think they looked really good, so I took a little bit of inspiration from some of his figures. So you should go check his channel out. But with that out of the way, let's get into going over this custom of Robin. So you can see I used the mid legs from the Harry Potter CMF series from 2018. They introduced those new pieces of the mid legs. So I think they fit Robin's height pretty well, and I like that they have movement. So I just gave him the plain black legs and painted some red detailing on the front and the side. It's pretty simple, but I think it came out good. His utility belt is just the Lego Batman movie utility belt, the plain yellow one. I just put it on. I sanded down one of those antenna pieces, the edge, the base part, the circular part, and then I just painted it yellow and added that as the buckle on the front. You can see he's got a pretty plain torso, but I like how it came out, especially the R for Robin on his side. But yeah, so the torso is pretty simple, but I like how it came out. You can see his arms are just plain flesh arms with some black sleeves, which I painted on there. His hands are just black, but I also gave him these like glove top things. They're just cut the top of a Lego head. I just cut off the stud on top and painted it black and put it on his hands. So I think that looks pretty good. I actually made his own Birdarang on his right hand. He's holding a Birdarang. That was just made from a Lego Batarang. I cut it up and sanded it a bit and then painted it the right colors to look like his Birdarang, but I think that came out pretty good. You can see he's got the short capes. It's actually 2 capes, one yellow on the inside and then a black one on the outside. I just cut them to length so they fit his height, and I think it looks pretty good. His face was actually a Ron Weasley face from Harry Potter, from one of the sets from last year. But I painted over his eyes and painted the mask, which I think the mask came out really good actually. But I picked the face just because I liked the smile, because I thought it looked a lot like Robin. But his hairpiece was actually just I believe it was just a plain, like smooth male hairpiece, and I just sculpted on top of it to give it the detailing and texturing of Robin's hair. It didn't come out perfect, but I think it came out pretty good. And then I just painted it black. But that's about it for Robin, so let's get on to the next figure. So next up here we have Nightwing, and as I said, this is my favorite character of the whole series. We just went over Robin, so I thought we'd do him next, because they're the same character. We're not really going in order of like seasons, since this guy's actually from Seasons 2 and 3. And this is mainly based off his Season 2 outfit. I took some inspiration from the Lego DC Supervillains video game. There was Nightwing was in one of the DLC packs from Young Justice, so I got some pictures from that, and I kind of used their design and painted it myself. But anyways, it's mainly his Season 2 outfit, but it's pretty much the same thing in Season 3. I think really the only difference in Season 3 is pretty much his hair, but anyway, so let's get into the details of this figure. You can see first off I gave him these 2 black bars just for his Excrema sticks or whatever, but we can move those and put them out of the way there. But you can see on his legs, he's just got plain black legs, and I painted up some gray on the bottom of his feet for some shoe detailing that wraps around all four sides. You can see he's also got like knee pads I painted up. He's got a belt on his leg or whatever it is that wraps around on his right leg. It comes around to the side. He's got a pocket there, which I painted up. I think it looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it looks okay. And then it comes around the back a little bit. So yeah, and then he's also got his belt on the front of his torso, which continues onto his waist piece, his hip piece. But yeah, I painted that quite a bit of. That took a long time, but I think it came out pretty good. You can see his torso I painted up. It's got some shading with light gray and dark gray. But yeah, like I said, I just pretty much copied the design from the video game. But I think it came out pretty good. I really like how his bird symbol on the front of his chest came out. So yeah, he's also got some detailing for his like collar, I guess, up at the top of the torso, and I actually painted his neck a little bit black just to, because he's got like a collar, but so I think that came up pretty good. His arms have some detailing, as you can see. I just painted that. Same with his hands. I just painted on his four knuckles in gray, but I think that's pretty good on both hands. His back torso has some painting. It's just some more gray detailing. His belt is crooked, as you can see, but that's how they had it in the game, so I just copied what they did. But yeah, so for his face, that was actually a completely painted face. It was just a plain flesh head, but yeah, so I painted on the mask. I really like how the mask came out. I like his mouth, the way I painted it too. It's kind of slanted. But his hairpiece was actually the original Kai hairpiece from Ninjago. It's actually from the show. It was before the movie. It was his hairpiece. It was in dark brown, but yeah, so I just painted it black because I think it fits his hair pretty well. I considered sculpting my own design of his hair, but I think this works pretty well. So that's about it for Nightwing. So let's move on to the next figure. So next up here is Kid Flash, and we're going to go him pretty quickly because it's mainly a knockoff figure that I've shown in the past on my channel. His head I didn't paint at all, his face I mean. His torso and legs were pretty much just the original knockoff design. I did extend his boots around to the sides and back, as you can see, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, his torso, I just extended the red on his torso just a little bit. His arms, I did sculpt some shoulder pads for him, and then painted it yellow with the 3 black dots, which is pretty good. I did extend his red gloves a little bit onto the arms on both sides, but that's about it. And then his face, like I said, I didn't touch, but I did add his lightning bolt ear things on the sides, so those came out pretty good, I think. Let's try to focus the camera. I don't know, whatever. But his hairpiece was originally just like one of those curly-ish, kind of like Superman hairpieces, the new Superman hairpieces. Yeah, so that was black. I just painted it red, and I sanded it down around the sides and the back because his hair just comes out the top of his head. So I sanded it down. I sculpted the back of it a little bit to come out. And then I just painted it reddish orange color, and then I sculpted his goggles, but actually I didn't sculpt them. They were cut up Lego pieces, and I just painted them black. Not black, red. And so yeah, that's about it. But so let's go on to the next figure. So next up here we have Artemis, and I really like how this figure came out. It's probably one of my more detailed figures. Obviously this is when she's suited up as Artemis and not Tigress later on in seasons 2 and 3. But yeah, so let's just get into the details. But for her legs, you can see they were just dark green legs. I painted on her shoes with the black shoes and some gray on the bottom of her shoes in the front. Some gray detailing on her shoes, like I said. She's got a strap on her legs that goes around, a black strap that goes around all 4 sides, as you can see. And yeah, so on the side you can see she's got some light green I painted on there. It was kind of hard to tell how much of her legs the green covered up, but since the Lego legs are like really flat on the sides, but I just painted the whole side green just in case. There's actually a black pocket and another strap on her other leg. You can't really see, it's covered up by the bow and arrow, but it's just a black pouch. You can see her torso I painted up. I actually sanded down the sides to curve it a little bit, like one of the Aerial Light curved torsos. It wasn't actually one, it was just a Lego torso, but I curved it down myself. I just sanded it down. I painted on the flesh for her waist there. I just painted that, and then, yeah, so there's some paint detail there. I actually used a Lego Batman movie belt piece, utility belt. It wasn't from Batman, but it was actually from one of the Star Wars Battlefront sets, because it was in black, so I just used that. I cut it up and used the pouches on the front, and the back just went on the back. But yeah, and then her circular buckle in the front for her belt was just another antenna piece that I sanded down the circular part of and painted on the green arrow thing. Yeah, so I think the belt came out really good. I like that it's 3D instead of just 2D painted on there. Her torso, you can see, has got quite a bit of painted detailing. I like how it came out. Got some straps and stuff. But yeah, her arms, you can see she's just got a green band that goes on her arm, and then she's got some glove things. They don't completely cover her hand, but yeah. So I painted that, the dark green. You can see I painted the side of her torso too, the flesh color and some black straps. The back of her torso is pretty plain. It's just covered up by the hair anyways. But you can see I painted her quiver. I just painted it black and added the green arrow on the back. And I just painted the green part on the arrow tips at the back. Her bow and arrow here was just a plain Lego bow and arrow. It was just the black one. I painted the green and the dark green just on there, as you can see. Pretty simple, but her actual arrow on the other hand was, I believe it was from Brick Forge or maybe Brick Arms. It was just one of their arrow pieces. I painted the tip dark green. But yeah, that's about it. For her face, you can see it was just actually I believe it was a rose face from Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, but so I just used that face and painted most of it dark green to represent her mask. I left some holes on the sides to represent her ears on both sides, and then her face was actually, I left uncovered by the green just to show her eyes and her mouth. So I like how the face came out. There's a little bit of black lines at the top of her head, of her face, but anyways, her hair piece was actually a widow's peak hair piece that I just sanded down the sides of and the front of, and then I sculpted her big ponytail in the back. Should be a little bigger, but I think it looks fine this way. And then I just painted the whole thing light yellow color. But that's about it for this figure, so let's move on to the next. So next up here is the other archer from the show. He's not officially part of the team, but it's Red Arrow. This is from Season 1, the clone version, actually. So, yeah, so he actually becomes Red Arrow pretty early on in the show. But I think I liked his character pretty well, and I decided to make him, even though he's not technically part of the team anyways. But I really like how this figure came out. So we can start off with his legs. You can see they're just black legs, but I painted a lot of gray detailing on there for his shoes that wraps around all four sides. A couple of straps that come around. He's got a Lego Movie utility belt, a pouch that I just cut out and then glued on the side and painted gray there. I think that looks pretty good on both sides actually. But other than that, you can see he's also got some more straps on the front of his legs. I painted on his knee pads down there kind of low, but his hip piece, you can see it was just a gray hip piece. I just painted on some black detailing there, which came out pretty good for his belt. His torso is just a black torso, but I painted all the detail you can see, the red, the gray, and a little bit of black. But I really like how the torso came out pretty good, I think. there's actually on the back too. I painted the back of the torso. I knew it would be covered up by the quiver, but I thought it would look good anyways. But yeah, so I painted that. You can see there. I guess we'll do the quiver next. You can see I actually used one of the like oxygen tanks from like firemen and stuff from the Lego pieces. So I used one of those. So I used both tanks from that piece. I cut them out and then glued them back to back, and then I just sculpted the bottom to fill up the hole, and then just painted the whole thing gray. Because his quiver is actually like pretty circular like this, and it's pretty big. So this came out really accurate, and I just used a Lego arrow piece from one of the bow and arrows. I cut that out and painted it red, and then I glued it on there. I think it came out really good. His arms are just flesh arms that I painted on his black gloves. They come up really high, and some flesh detailing there too. On the other arm, it's just just a little bit of black glove onto his arm. His bow here was actually just another Lego bow, but instead of Artemis, she used like the compound bow. I just gave him the plain like regular bow, because his bow in the show is actually really simple. But so yeah, so I just used the Lego one. I cut out the arrow part, and so yeah, so I just cut out that part and then painted it red, add some black detailing. And then I just added a string to give some more detail. His face was actually just another plain flesh face, and I just painted on the mask, which I think came out really good, and the mouth I also painted. And then his hairpiece was actually from the Series 16 collectible minifigure series. It was the Secret Agent, I think he was called. He came with this cool new hairpiece that they never used again, but it actually had like these two like holes on the side of his hair. Just because the figure came with like a night vision goggles or whatever, so they had to connect to the hairpiece. So that's why they had holes on the side. But I thought it was a cool hairpiece other than that, so I just filled up the holes and sculpted my own sideburns there. Because I thought it looked a lot like Roy's hair in the show. So I just fixed up the hair to make it look like a normal hairpiece, and then just painted it the right color to match his hair in the show. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for Red Arrow, so let's move on to the next figure. So next up here we have Aquaman from Season 3, Outsiders. So this was obviously actually Aqualad in Season 1 and 2, but in Season 3 he's actually promoted to Aqualad, and he's even the leader of the Justice League, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so I considered making his Aqualad outfit, but I just decided to make his Aquaman outfit because I thought it looked really cool. And I didn't really want to make both of them, so I just made his Aquaman outfit. But yeah, so he's a pretty detailed figure, so let's get into his details, like his legs. Again, just plain black legs, but I painted on his feet because Atlanteans often are barefoot because they have really strong feet, I guess. So I painted on his flesh tone feet at the bottom, just on the front, and the sides he's got like these dark green, like boot things or whatever, with some gold detailing on the front and sides. And I just cut out his fins on the back here from paper, like a cape, and they just painted them black and then glued them to the back of his legs there, which I think they look pretty cool. We'll go to the torso next. You can see he's got his gold like Aquaman logo on his belt. I painted that, and the belt goes onto the sides a little bit. It was just a orange torso that I used, and I just painted all the black detailing, which came out pretty good. A lot of gold on the top that wraps around all the way, all four sides on the top of the torso, the gold. On the back, some more orange, black detailing. I painted on there some more gold for the belt. And then he actually has the Aquaman logo on this piece on his back, which he also had when he was Aqualad, because that's where he stores his sword things. So I considered making it like functional so he could actually store his sword things there, but I just thought it looked better because most of the time I wasn't going to store them there. So I just thought I would make a better looking one that just looked good that didn't actually work. So this was just a plain 1x1 circular Lego tile that I just sanded down the sides a little bit to make it look more oval shaped. Then I just painted it black and then added the blue Aquaman logo. So I think that looks pretty good. So his arms, I painted gold. It's a specific kind of silvery kind of gold color, but I painted that. And then just a lot of black detailing there on his arms I painted up. I think it came out pretty good. A little bit of flesh on the arms, on the sides there. A lot of black detailing. A little bit on the hands of black continuing from the arms. On both sides, obviously. They match pretty well, I think. Yeah, so those arms took a long time to paint, but I think it came out pretty good. His head was just, I believe it was, I'm trying to think who the head was, but I'm not sure. But I just erased the detailing and painted the eyebrows. I left the original eyes, but yeah, so I just painted the eyebrows, and I repainted the mouth. And then his hairpiece was just a widow's peak hairpiece that I sanded down a lot because he's got really short hair in season 3. So I sanded that really down so it looks almost flush with his head. And then I just pointed the front of the widow's peak just a little bit to make it more pointy. And then just painted it a really light blonde color because it's almost white looking in season 3. But I decided to make it really light blonde. And then his sword pieces were just the Asajj Ventress lightsaber pieces. I decided not to make them super detailed, just because I wanted him to hold them, and it would have been harder to hold them if they were really detailed and painted. But I just used blue flame in one of the swords, and then the other one was a Ninjago, like a J sword piece. I don't remember what it was from, but yeah, so they look like water, I think. So that's pretty much it for this figure. So let's go down to the last figure, Miss Martian. So last up here we have Miss Martian from season 3. You can see this is definitely not what she looked like in season 1 and 2 because she's actually like she actually chooses to show herself as a white Martian, even though this isn't actually what she looks like even as a white Martian. But all she really did was from seasons 2 to 3. The difference is she's plain white skin color now, and she's bald now, but yeah, and she's got the pronounced like eyebrows, like Martian Manhunter does. But anyways, so her legs were just plain black legs. All I did was paint on the knee pads. So that was really simple. Her torso is probably the most detailed part. It was just the red X I painted on there, and the red belt I painted on too. And I actually sanded down the sides of the torso like Artemis to make it more curved. And so yeah, so I did that. Painted the torso. I painted the blue part on the top of the torso. That's supposed to be the cape. So yeah, I painted that on. And then for the side of the, her arms, they were plain black, but I just painted. She has like one really thin red line on both of her arms. So I painted that. She's got plain white hands. Her cape was actually from the Disney Series 2 Hercules. It's really round, which isn't really accurate. It's just supposed to be just a regular cape, not round. But this is all I had for a short blue cape because her cape in season 3 is really short. So this was better than like a really long one, but I think it looks okay. Then her face was actually a Voldemort face from the collectible Harry Potter collectible minifigure series. It was the Voldemort face. I just erased the mouth and I repainted the eyebrows, not to look less evil, I guess. But I like the eyes. So yeah, I repainted the mouth and I painted on her really pronounced eyebrows. I just copied the Lego Martian Manhunter figure. He's got the same eyebrow things, so I just painted on the same thing, but in dark gray. But I think this figure came out pretty good, even though it's really simple. But this is the last figure, so let's conclude this video now. So that's it for all my Young Justice customs. I hope you enjoyed the video, and currently I'm not really working on any more customs, but you guys can give me some ideas in the comments if you want. Hopefully it won't be another like 10 months until my next video, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below what you thought of these figures, and I'll see you guys next time.